Today, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to speak your truth, 3 tips that might help you in that process of speaking your truth more effectively, more powerfully, more fully. I'm Marina Ormes here with your Astro Vibe for Thursday, July 27th. Today, the moon continues in Scorpio. So we've had kind of an intense week with this Scorpio moon energy, with the first quarter moon, with the pressure of the moon squaring Pluto, the sun opposing Pluto, Pluto squaring the nodes. I've been talking about that in my videos this week. So if you've missed a couple or you've gotten behind, you might want to catch up and review those to see what's been going on this week. But for today, we have this deeper truth, this this sign of truth and power, and getting to that place of transformation. And so as the moon continues through this sign, we are continuing to process the deeper truths that are emerging, come to terms with, and trust the process that is unfolding, trust what's happening, trust that we are becoming who we need to become as we metaphorically go through this journey of death and rebirth symbolically, right? I mean, it might be a big deal for you, it might be a small deal for you, but that's kind of the energy that's up. So deeper themes of something that's more real, more true, more honest, and feeling those things as they emerge, come up more fully to the surface. So normally where they might be hidden or unconscious, having more of a chance to recognize them and work with them. And then we have also a conjunction happening, which is just when 2 planets come together, conjunction between Mercury and Venus. So Venus is retrograde in Leo, and I shared in depth about that in Sunday's video from this past Sunday. And then Mercury, the planet of communication, of thinking and ideas and thought processes, is also in Leo. So expression, Leo is the sign of expression. Mercury is communication, right? So expressing through communication and working through these energies of truth and reckoning and responsibility that I've been talking about this week. And so that's why today we're looking at some tips that can help you share your truth, speak your truth more effectively, more powerfully, and more fully. And these are going to be really simple baby steps you can take, right? So that's kind of my MO, right? Is like, what are the tangible, easy things that you can integrate, that you can do without making humongous changes in your life? So these are some tips that you might think about and that might help you in the long run, things you can implement bit by bit over time in those baby steps that create long-term shift. So 3 ways to speak your truth more effectively and powerfully. And one idea, this first idea that I'm going to give you, this first tip is, it may not be the obvious, right? Like you might think, okay, wait, before I share these tips with you, I just want to say, sometimes when we hear 3 ways to speak your truth, we might go to a place of shame or making ourselves feel bad or wrong because we haven't spoken up about things that we think are important, or because we've tried but we haven't gotten our point across, or because we haven't known how, or because whatever, right? So again, coming back to self-care, self-love, forgiving yourself, compassion for yourself, accepting where you're at. You are absolutely in the present moment. There is nothing that came before or has happened that can stop you from sinking into what is best for you right now. And what is best for you right now is the perspective I'm going to share these tips with you from. Okay. All right. So here we go. Number one way to more effectively speak your truth is to stop participating in any conversations that you don't agree with. So, are there any ways in your life that you are what's the word? So either unconsciously or because you're trying not to make waves, you're going along with what's being said, even though internally you don't like it, you don't agree with it. And so how can you make a subtle shift to give less agreement to things you don't like, that don't work for you, that don't feel true and helpful, right? That don't align with your capacity to co-create a positive future, which we've been talking about this week. So stopping participating in conversations you don't agree with could look a lot of different ways. It could look like maybe you have to sit in that meeting at work, maybe you can't leave, but you don't have to nod your head. You don't have to smile. You don't have to unconsciously agree with what's being said when you actually don't. And so take a step back, be more of an observer, let yourself be an observer, listen to what's going on, observe people's behavior, their body language, what's going on, who's agreeing, who's got the power, who's kissing up or whatever. So taking a step back, so stop participating in the conversations you don't agree with could mean that you actually just don't have them. Maybe it's with a neighbor or a friend or a family member. Just don't do it. You don't have to have that phone call with that one family member where you don't agree with what they're saying, but you can't convince them of otherwise. Just don't have the phone call, right? Like send them a little note instead saying, hope you're having a great day. You don't have to engage. So that's another way of to stop participating in a conversation you don't agree with. Not agreeing, not smiling, not nodding your head, also just not having the conversation in the first place. Maybe you can think of other ways to stop participating in conversations you don't agree with. So you notice that I'm talking about speaking your truth, and we haven't even gotten to the speaking part, right? This is step one. Step one is just like stop doing what doesn't work. Okay, that's often where we begin. Okay, and you could take a deep breath too, right? Like don't engage in ways that are not helpful and supportive and nurturing for you. Okay, and then number two, so number one is stop participating in conversations you don't agree with. Number two of the three ways to speak your truth more effectively is take the time to go home after something unfolds, after something happens or words are exchanged. Go home and write down what you really wanted to say that you couldn't think of in the moment. You didn't know how, you didn't have the right words, you didn't know if they would listen to you. Doesn't matter, whatever the reason, just go home, think about it, journal, write down what did you really want to say? And this might be something you don't ever share with anyone, right? It might be your inner child speaking. It might be something you need to process. So go home and write it out. What was it that you really were wanting to say that you really felt and couldn't say in that situation? Okay, so that's number two, baby step to support you in the process of speaking your truth more fully and effectively. Number three is to take some space in the moment. So that can look like saying to your partner, your boss, the person you're talking to in the grocery store that says something that kind of throws you for a loop. Take a breath, take space to figure out what you want to say. You have the right. This is an essential self-care practice. You have the right to take space to allow the truth to emerge. And so taking the breath, saying, wait, I'm not ready to have this conversation. I need a moment. I'm going to go step outside, whatever it is. Whatever you need, I can call you back tomorrow. I can talk about this next week. I'm just going to take a breath and compose my thoughts. Give me a moment. Whatever it is that helps you take space to get more clear about what you need to say, what you want to say, and how you want to say it. And I want to add one thing here, and that is that some of us have Aries energy, right? You might have an Aries moon, an Aries Mercury, an Aries rising, something that is more direct, right? Direct. The words fly out of you. You didn't think about them before they came out of your mouth. Later, you kind of regret it, but that Aries energy is so direct and spontaneous that sometimes things just fly out that we didn't mean to say. So if that's the case, maybe you need a practice of you feel the words coming and you're going to stop and you're going to take a breath and then let the words come out. Just something that shakes it up a little bit, something that helps you get more clear within yourself. You know what you want to say, right? Because that is your truth flying out of your mouth. But how is this person going to hear it most effectively? Is it going to push their buttons so much that they won't even listen to you? So anyway, taking that quick moment, if you have a lot of Aries energy, that quick moment to check in with yourself and say, is this what I want to say? Is this how I want to say it? And thinking of your own practices for taking that moment for yourself, a breath, a self check-in, whatever it is. You'll figure that out. Okay. All right, there you go. So 3 little baby steps that can help you in the process of the journey where you're learning how to speak your truth. And all of these things are going to support you to speak your truth spontaneously in the moment, more often, more effectively, in ways that might surprise you. So practice these things and they're going to create the foundation that helps you to speak your truth more effectively. So number 1 is stop participating in conversations you don't agree with. Number 2 is go home and write down what you really wanted to say. And number 3 is take some space when you need it to allow the truth to emerge or to allow the most effective way to say something to become more clear to you. So taking space can always be important. All right. So all of these little baby steps have to do with shaking up what we normally do and creating space for new possibilities, new ways of doing this to emerge that can help you speak your truth. And that energy of Mercury and Venus coming together in Leo are going to bring this up. So, so deeper themes of what you need to say, how you need to express yourself, how you're coming across to others. And this is part of the ongoing Scorpio moon energy that we've had, where we're processing and connecting with a deeper truth, something that we need to become aware of that maybe has been hidden in the past. And then later in the day today, the moon shifts into Sagittarius, where following Scorpio energy, we get to make meaning. We get to go, oh, okay, that makes sense now. I can understand what was happening. I can have some more words for what I've been processing, or the process I've been going through, or the truth that has been emerging that I've been feeling inside and I didn't know how to express. So later in the day, as the moon goes into Sagittarius, we have more of the opportunity to explain or tell the story, even if it's just for ourselves, of what's been unfolding, taking place through that internal process of truth emerging, of a new self emerging. So, kind of intense energies this week. Thank you so much for being with me and for being open to listening to some of these ways of thinking about it that I'm sharing with you. I hope they're helpful to you. I hope that it's helping you in your own self-care process, becoming aware more fully, more deeply of who you are and your incredible power to make a positive difference in your own life and in the world around you, albeit even in subtle ways, right? That it's really those subtle ways that where patterns can change, and we can notice bigger differences over time from there. So nothing is happening in the world that you cannot respond to in a way that is taking care of yourself and positive. And so, so what is it that you need? Asking yourself, what do I need in this moment? How can I take care of myself? Because when you do that first, then you will get more clarity about how to address the actual circumstances. All right, there you go. Thank you so much for being here. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. If you need support, I do have spaces available to work with me in private sessions, working with the energies in your own personal chart. And what's showing up in your life, how to understand it, how to work with it in the most powerful and co-creative and positive way that helps you step into your own highest potential. There are no good or bad charts, right? It's always what we do with it. So thank you so much for being here and for subscribing to this channel, because it really supports my work. And I do have an option now where you can make a financial contribution if you wish. All of this that I am offering is, I'm donating my time here. So that really helps support me and my work as well. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thanks for just sharing with your friends and helping to get the word out. All right. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.